evaluation. Shana, question. Was your wardrobe choice today intentional? With reference specifically to your hemline? I mean, because I'm going to be really upfront. I can't care less about the economics or the economy and how it's doing. So, but taking your advice, so do I just look at your skirt and tell it's doing not so good?
I don't keep up with fashion.
So it was not, okay.
Well, I look at her skirt all the time. No,
of course, probably you would. That's right. So anyway, I really, Shana did what she does best. You know, she comes up here and she just nails it with confidence. And definitely, I expected you to talk about economics, and you did not disappoint me. And I don't think she'd disappoint anybody here. But what's really great about what you talked about today was that it was interesting. You know, there wasn't a moment where most of the people here probably didn't know anything you talked about. I certainly didn't. So everything that you covered was new, was fresh, and you certainly, you know, met your project objectives. You know, you nailed that completely. So that was really great. So good job on that. And one more thing, you didn't pace way too much. So, you know, compared to all your speeches, you've come quite a long way. Now, there was a little bit, but still, you know, it was much controlled. And so, with that said, what else? Yeah, said it was super interesting. And what I really liked is that you also use slides because economics can be daunting. I would know. You know, we've been in here for long enough. Most people here would know. So you use slides very well, and I really did love the whole hemline concept. And the pictures were vibrant, and I could really relate because, you know, it was something so fascinating, and you really covered it and was fresh. But you had three concepts, didn't you? You had first you had the hemline, and then you had the sunk cost fallacy, and the third one was anchoring, right? But the thing was, it would have been great if you just had a slide which had the main titles on it, because we would know. I only caught sunk cost fallacy. What was the first one?
The hemline
Index, and the third one was?
The anchor index.
Yes. So if you had just put it down there, I think everybody would remember it, because I would remember that slide economics is cool because that stayed. But if you could just, you know, an area of improvement, you could just put in those slides with the main title of what you're covering. That would be great. That would be something you can work on. One more thing, I thought that, you know, it's a great speech. I can't really criticize you about it, but if I could have it another way, or if I heard it in a different way, my opinion is you started with a question on the population of Kazakhstan, but that was your third point, right? But you got people to engage in that question any which way, which is much later on. So instead of starting that and then you stop right there, and then you go to the next topic, hemline, and then you do the sunk cost and then come back to it, which worked for your previous speech because I remember you did that same thing. But I think here you could have just started with your, you know, your main, whatever you started off with, your hemline. You could have asked us a question about it, because when you engage, trust me, Shana, we will answer you. That is never going to be a problem. So I think you could have worked in your structure a little bit, maybe not start something and stop and then go on to the content of the speech and then come back to it and end off with it. It works most of the time, and I've seen you done it beautifully. But here you could have just done the first part, nailed it, second point, nailed it, third point, nailed it, and then put it on the slide so we would remember it, along with the idea that economics is cool. Thank you.
All right.